Okay, so we're going to start the share today on number Kuf Kaf Hey, right here on page Resh Yud Ches in your trusty Tiva Kavanos. So B'dekaven ki Tov Zu Shal Atah. So what's to show how the three letters of the name Atah is actually the implanting of the Shefa that's coming from up above, comes into the Nook, which is in Olam HaBriah, and brings her up, gives her potential to come up. Now these are the letters. So, but he wants to say something else. He says that this is the mystery of this whole thing, which has been really explained elsewhere in the Sifra Tzniut, the Rayo, which are a set of letters and numbers, really forms up the Yesod of the Nukva of Zeranpin, which is very important. But he's carrying this along with him in the form of this Rayo. Now, Rayo is also the gematria of the word Gevura. So here we have the Zer Anpin, or the Shefa that's coming from Abba really, into Ima, into Zer Anpin, and into the Nukva, contains within it this Rayo. And this Rayo could be seen in the letters of the word Ata itself. But the Kaben, ki Zeh Rayo hu b'bechin shem Ekya. So we understand that Ekya means potential. It's the concept of, it means I will be. And it means that it's potential. It's like the bowling ball that's coming towards the pins. Gematria of Aleph, which has a gematria of 21. And each one of those 21 has 10. That makes 210. Hare Asara Pamim Kaf Aleph. Hare Re. That's a gematria of 210. But then you take the letters of the milui of the word ekya itself has 10 letters. Take the 4 letters out of the root. Zulos arba osiosecha b'shutos, which is the root of it, hare rayo. Then you have rayo again. Now, how that worked out? He said that ekya. You want to say that ekya appears is a rayo also. So you start out with the Re, which is 10 times 21, which is a gematria of Ekya, and add on to it this Vav. So he says, so now we're going to come over here and we're going to learn on here, number Kuf Kaf Taz. Now we're going to come by way of who? What path is this take place? Because we said that the first letters of the Mansapach, the Man, has already been delivered. Bizer Anpin to the Nook. And this is what the Ato does, is it delivers Shefa and energy and potential into the Nook. Mivoyer Khan explained over here, Kizer Anpin Shuhu Mashpia Shefa. Their Anpin is, of course, the tunnel or the pipeline that delivers into Malchus. Gam Hu Maruma Bebechinas Rayo, but it also, can you see that there's a Rayo inside of Zer Anpin? V'hu Ki Ata Bechriya Shniya. So what it is like this, is it now in the second bowing? Shebemilas Atah. Shehi Kriyas Rosh, because when we bow down at the beginning of the davening, we do it twice. One is the body goes down, and the last one is the head going down, and all this is a kavana. Tzark lechroa yud legabe hey rishona. So the concept of taking the yud and bowing it down and bringing it to the hey rishona. B'chriyas hashniya shebetevus atal. So first you had one bow down, that was the bow of the body when you said Baruch, and when you say Ata, now you're going to bow down a second time with your head. So he's a rosh behind the gar, that's the Chabad, the Zer Anpin, Begedei Lachashpia Shefa Zeh al Hanuk, in order to be able to pour out Shefa to his female counterpart. So he says that in the gar itself there's a reference to the letter Yud, which comes from Havaya, and we cause it to flow into the first Hey of the Havaya. That the 2 letters which are Yud and K, everybody knows that Yud and K goes to Chochma Bina. Hile Shem Bavaya Yesh B'Raba Arba Osius Neged Arba Bechidos. There are 4 letters corresponding to 4 different aspects. Chachma Bina Zer Anpin V'No. Shtei Osius of Rishon is the first 2 letters. Let me see where we're at here. V'Div Shabo, the Heinrich of Yud K, Heim Neged Shtei Bechidos Rishonos Chachma Bina. So he explains, he says, Shehem HaMochin is Zer Anpin, which represents the Mochin of Zer Anpin. He says, that is in Yud and K, Heim Sod Rayo, Im Tisayr Oso, that hay, and how do you get that? By forming up the hay. You could see the hay being formed a different way. So I'm trying to understand what exactly is that the hay is really non-physical, but it can come together by different portions of other letters. So he says, which are also non-physical. So there, I guess I would try to say is that they're a little bit movable. So if you take the letter Hey, you can make it out of a Resh and a Vav. Vim Hayud Hare, then you add the Yud, which comes from Chochma. That's Hey represents Bina, and so Chochma is going to come into Bina and going to bring her the letter Yud. Shtei Osius Yud. Yud and K, Tzarasu Rayo. So now you have the Rayo here. Ki Os Hey, he Kamos Resh Mibachutz, the Besochim Kamin Vav. Hare Ro. V'im Hayud Hare Rayo. So that Ro. V'lechein, their Mazim Rayo Bazah. So therefore you see in Zer Anpin himself, there's going to be a Rayo. Ki ha-mochin is Zer Anpin. So because we see that the mochin that come from Zer Anpin, Shehem Choch B'Bina, Hem Osius Yak, they're the letters Yud and K. And their mazas B'Osius Rayo Keniskar, which are represented by the letters Rayo, as we mentioned before. But the Kavin the Achash Ramas Bechinas Rayo. So he says that since there's a reference over here to the Rayo B'Shefa HaYorid B'Zer Anpin, the Nook, for the Shefa that comes from Zer Anpin to the Nook. Uvzah Shuhu Amashbia, and Zah, who's really the one that is causing the flow. Baram is Adach B'Bechinas Rayo B'Ima Shemsham Nish B'Chas Shefa. So now let's talk about Ima. B'Inyan Secha B'Rayo Naniska Shehem Shlosha Chavayos the Ab the Yudin. So that is that. So the 3 times we said Av makes a Rayo. 3 times 72 is 216. That's Rayo. Le'el b'tevis baruch mevoraki ki nimshach shefesh shel shloshach havayos the sag. So now we have the flow of these 3 havayos. They're coming of sag, which are coming down. We call echad me'elach shloshach havayos. Now sag refers to Ima. It really refers to the Zayin Tachtonis of Ima, the 7 lowest spheres of Ima. If we call Echad Me'edr Shlosha Havayas the Sag Kasha Nosif Lechem Es Os Yosechem Heim Olam Ag. And when you add in the 10 letters, you get the gematria Ag. So he said, which is 73. That's too much. But if you take down from them the kola, which means the root, which is the basic letter, so you had the number 220, take away the eki itself, you have, which refers to the 4 letters of the Yud-K Vav-K, maybe that's what he's talking about. He says you come down to 16 again. Amda b'tevis atah. So now we say like this, in the word atah itself, yesh the kavana cheres is another kavana. Sheim kavana b'shlosha avayas the sag shu neged bina. So let's take the 3 avayas the sag, which come out of bina. They make the number 216. Ela shlosha avayas the av she'olim rayo sheim neged chochma, which corresponds to chochma. Amna shlosha chavayos elus. Let's talk about them. Nemshachos min os aleph. They all come out of the letter aleph because it has a certain formation, which we mentioned before. Shal eki b'milu yudin shebebina. Shlosha chavayos elu. So these 3 avayos, he's elu b'milu av heim b'chochma are in chochma. Nemshachos ma'os aleph shal eki b'milu yudin shebebina, and they flow out from the letter Aleph by itself, that one letter, which is part of the name Ekia, which is the name for the potential or the energy that's within inside coming in. B'milu yudin shebabina shagam chitzara zarayo kadlokomon. But the kavan, and this is the kavana, ki gam aleph chitzara tsiura rayo kazeh. So it also is a rayo. You see, if you have it, he's going to explain. You have the yud at the top and the vav in the middle, and then the bottom has a resh. Let's see if that's the way he says it. He says, Os aleph, the shem of Akia, b'milu yudin shebabina, mes chalaka, the shlosha chalakim, it gets divided into three different portions. Achelika elyon saras yud. So the first portion is the formation of a yud. Achelika misaret saras vav. V'achelika tachton saras reish fucha is really a reish but upside down. Nimsa shebaos aleph gufe, that in that letter itself, which is the first letter of Ekia, there meses osius rayo kazeh, is a reference to the rayo itself, and it looks like this. But the via amor ata nimsa, so according to what we're saying now, it comes out sheyeshnam shnei ofanim ketzim meremeses ima the bechinas rayo. How is it that ima is now referenced as the concept of a rayo? Ofan arishon b'shum sheshlosha ravayos yesh be'ima shekol achaz mehem hi b'milui av, that where each one of them is in a milui of av, but shlosha pamim av heim rayo, and 3 times av makes rayo. Ofan hasheni hu ki shlosh ravayos elul nimshachas ma'os aleph, is that they all come out of the letter aleph, the ekyad, the yudin, the ba'os aleph near mazas osius rayo. So now what we've done here is that you have this kavana. The kavana b'chesh pamim rayo b'zecha ofen. There are 2 rayos that we get out of just saying the word baruch. B'milus baruch, the el b'vur ki b'tevis baruch, that when we say the word baruch, yeshnam shtei kavanos rayo, there are always 2 kavanos that have to do with rayo. What are they? One is that you take av and you multiply it by 3, the 3 times 72, you're going to get to the number 216. So the second one is that the 3 different times of av, yachad im yud beis osius milui adni, she'od l'geminyan baruch, that comes to the gematria baruch. Because the other 2, Sheramaz the Rebbein the Chrios, which really has to do when you're bowing your head down and when you're saying Ata. Afal pi sheyesham od shnei ofanim bekavanas rayo. There's 2 other ways that we could find a rayo there, Rebbein the Chrios, when we're talking about bowing the head. Over the Rishon, the first way we said, sheshlosha havayos yesh be'ima, there are 3 havayos in ima. Kol acha behem hi b'milui sag. So we do it this way. So we break down from it the concept of its kolel, v'nishar av, and it remains to be ayin bes, and then back to ayin bet again. So he said like this. So what do you do? He says you take here's the formula. If you want to have this kavana, you take the 3 sags, which is rayo, and you add onto it the letters. Now, I'm not sure what the power of this is. This is a very powerful thing. He says now you have the number 73. 73 times 3 brings you to 73 times 3. Is going to bring you to a higher number. It's going to bring you to the number 219. So in order to get down to rayo, you have to take away 4. So you have to take away 4 letters. So he says, "V'shlosha pamim av heim rayo." We could see how they could rhyme. V'cha'ofen hasheni, we said how that would happen. Sheshlosha ravayos elul nimshachas mos aleph, that we also could see them coming out of the aleph itself, the ekia, the heyin, but saraso os aleph anir mazis osios rayo. And that's where we're at right now, trying to understand the significance of this. This is Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun Elevator Kola.